Play it on Xbox One.
Hello and welcome to a very, very special homebrewed version of April's Horizon monthly show. I am Charlie Hodson. I am obviously safe at home in the way that you guys are, but that is not going to stop us from bringing you the news this month. So let's have a look at the schedule straight away and see what is on offer for you. First things first, we are going to be running through the brand new festival playlist. It'll be loads and loads of new content you guys can play through this month. After that, we're going to be looking at the photo slideshow. Spring has absolutely sprung, and we're going to be going through some of our top picks. After that, we have a brand new feature, a returning feature from a previous game, but I'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. After that, we're going to be running through our Series 21 cars. More info to come, but I can tell you top secretly they are a very, very good bunch. After that, we have the Eliminator, where we are going to be joined by a man called Dave, who hopefully is going to be doing significantly better than I did last month. And to round off the show, we're going to be going through the updates and fixes once Dave has finished absolutely winning in the Eliminator. So that is everything that's going to be coming up on the show today. But I would very, very much like to introduce you to my co-host for today. First up, we have Mike Brown, the principal game designer at Playground Games. Mike, how you doing? How you doing, Mike?
Cool new things. We just can't wait to share them to you guys.
It's going to be a very, very good show, but that's not just because I'm only with you, but we also have Dave Orton, who is a game designer at Playground as well. Hello, Dave.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I mean, you were just saying this is the very first one of yours as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So to do that in my lounge it's definitely a new thing. But yeah, staying safe. And yeah, it's super excited for this, what we're going to show today. Yes.
All right, well, on that note, on that very, very convenient segue, we're going to have a look at this month's festival playlist. So I'm going to hand it back over to Mike, who's going to walk you through every single season of content you've got coming up.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a look. We could just bring up that slide. There we go. Okay, so the top level rewards for completion of festival playlist at 50%, you can get yourself an Hummer H1, and at 80%, you can get the McLaren F1. So some really nice high value rewards there. But that's not all. For 50% in summer, you can get yourself a brand new car. That is the Formula Drift Corvette, which we're taking a look at in a little while. Moving on from that, we have this Easter-themed content. So we have the Easter Boogie trial event, where you can win yourself the rabbit outfit. I know you guys have been desperate to get your hands on that if you missed it last Easter. And also the first showcase remix for this month, which is 9 3/4. If we click forward. Yes, not to be missed. You've got Koenigsegg Hunt, which gives you the opportunity to win some rabbit ears. Again, the really, really high value rewards here. Also, like an Alfa Romeo TZ2 and a Renault 5 Turbo 4th Edition. But it's the rabbit ears that you guys are here for. I know what you guys like. Let's jump forward to autumn. All right, so 50% in autumn gets you the Hudson Hornet, as made famous in Pixar's Cars. Also an Aston Martin DBR1 there as well. Clicking forward. You can see we have another showcase remix. That's the second one in this update, Forest Sprite. There's also, I know some people on the team will be very proud of this pun. So you've got Silicon Rally, which gives you a chance to win the Peugeot 205 Forza Edition. That's one with that ridiculous wing on the back there. And clicking forward, that's right. Yep. So yes, another one of our brand new cars to this update is the Mark III Toyota Supra. So we previously given away the Mark IV. You'll now have a chance to get the Mark III Supra. That's in the overnight parts seasonal event in autumn. Also another chance at that E92 BMW M3 GTS. Skipping on into winter. Your 50% reward is the 2018 Mercedes AMG E63s. So again, that's a brand new car. You guys have first chance to get your hands on that. Also the Honda NSXR there at 80%. Clicking forward, we can see another showcase remix, so the third one of the month. This time it's the Assault on the Control Room, so a remix of the Halo showcase. Also a chance to get that Ford Falcon Forza Edition in the trial event just there. And clicking forward again, just a few more awesome cars here. So you can get that Maserati Tipo, the Birdcage, and the Audi TT RS. And jumping on into spring. So you've got the KTM Crossbow GT4 and the Ferrari 599 Evoluzione. And clicking forward, we have another showcase remix. So 4 showcase remixes. I believe the first time we've had 4 in a single update. So that's pretty exciting. And then one more click. That's right. So another brand new car, which is the Formula Drift 599. So this is an awesome car, which we'll be taking a look at in a little bit. So I got an absolutely amazing kit on it, and I can't wait to drive it around the world.
So
over to you, Charlie.
Recap, some pretty significant things being 4 brand new remixes, bunny ears, and the cars from Car. Well, Car from Cars. Imagine the S one the other way around of those.
And we
words.
still have a couple more surprises further on in this show as well. So we haven't revealed everything just yet. So don't go anywhere.
No, we have not. No, but what we will do now is we're going to take a look at the photos that you guys have been sending in. We tasked you with taking some stunning pictures using the prompt "Spring has sprung." And my goodness, has it in these pictures. Let's have a look at some of our favorites and we'll have a chat about them afterwards. I told you we had some pretty good pictures this season, right? Yeah.
that last shot there from Breezy 1983, where it's just right on top of the mountain at the north of the map, and you can just see the entire world. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a shot which makes the world of Horizon 4 look as big as that. That is incredible. It looks a little bit like the opening shot of our E3 trailer when we announced the game.
Oh, that's very nostalgic. See, my favorites were a little bit different. There was one from FRT Davy, which was just a car absolutely surrounded by yellow flowers. I like the narrative that it was driving with that one. There's also another one from Giovanni, which was just, there was just purple flowers. That's the one exploding everywhere, which I feel is the sort of chaotic image I would take should I submit anything to this. So massive love for that. But Mike, I do have to ask, can I potentially suggest, it doesn't have to be next month, but another one in the future? I would very much like to see a series of images of just peels and puddles. Is that okay?
I mean, I'm sure there is a finite number of potential photo themes that we could do. So someday we will have to get to peels and puddles. It's just a necessity. So yeah, I'm sure we can do that. If we do that, will you submit a photo for us, Charlie?
I will submit as many as it takes you to email me and ask me to stop. Yes. many peels in every puddle I find. But I want to say great work to everyone as well. And Techtoid sent in 2 pictures, so I've got at least got to beat Techtoid next time. But superb pictures. Spring absolutely sprung according to you guys. But what we're going to move into now is actually a brand new feature. Obviously, we love looking at the photo mode. You guys absolutely smash that every month. But Mike, we have a brand new feature to discuss. Some of you guys may already be familiar with it, but it's a new gadget that Horizon fans have coming up. Let's hear all about it, shall we?
Yeah, so it's brand new to Forza Horizon 4. People who've played previous games might have seen it before. An interesting fact, well, at least it's interesting to me personally, is that Horizon Promo was the very, very first feature I worked on when I joined Playground Games whilst we were making Forza Horizon 2. And it's back. Forza Horizon 4 will now have Horizon Promo. I'm at this point going to hand over to Dave, as he has been handling the implementation of Promo in Horizon 4.
Yeah, so promo is back. Horizon promo is back. And people who played Horizon 3 will be familiar with the feature, but then those of you who haven't, effectively what it does is it tasks you with taking pictures of all the cars in Horizon. And the kind of lore behind that is that you're taking pictures of all the cars for promotional purposes for the festival. And as you do that, you're going to get loads of rewards thrown at you as well. So it's a fan favorite. It's a feature that all of us love in the office. So it's really exciting to see that it's back in for Horizon 4. I've seen this video here.
A promotional shot of a white transit van just there. Perfect.
Yes.
I'm sure that'll get all the fans into the Horizon Festival.
Yeah, and this is kind of the flair you'll get. So this feature is going to be unlocked when you buy the player house in Ambleside. It's called Sunflower Meadows. And if you've already unlocked that, you're going to it's going to unlock as soon as you boot the game when the update goes live. But the main flow is you'll be driving around the world and you'll see these icons. You can see one here above the Bonino. It's like a photo icon. And that means that you haven't taken a picture of it for your promo collection. So what you want to do is you just kind of want to get nice up and close to it. You want to go into photo mode, take a picture, and then just continue to do that. And there's some really cool rewards we've got lined up for people who engage in this feature. So here we've got the Zonda R and the Bonino together.
Cool. So
it's not the Zonda.
we can see there, Dave, that Tom needs to photograph 14 more cars in order to unlock the princely sum of 15,000 credits. But how much money can he get for taking photos of all of the cars in Horizon promo?
It's funny you should say that, Mike. Thank you. So just from getting just from credits alone, you're going to earn 730,000 credits. But we've also got 8 wheel spins. We've got quick chat lines, and we've also got 2 new surprises that I think we might be showing just further on in this video.
2 new surprises, Dave. We've already shown 4 new cars. 2 more. It'll be spoiling.
So yes, they are cars. We have 2 brand new cars that are new to Forza, and they are the Ferrari Portofino and the Porsche Gunther Works 400R. So some really awesome cars that are really well sought after, brand new to the game, and we're putting them in Horizon promo.
What's Tom doing now, Dave?
So for people who don't actually like seeing the photo icon above the player labels, you can actually turn that off. And that's just for people who maybe find it a bit too distracting. I know I won't be doing this, but for people who do, you can turn it off if you want to. But you can still get your progress towards all your rewards as well. So what we've also done is we've upgraded the car collection screen, kind of given it a bit of a reboot. So what we've done is we've added lots of we've integrated Horizon promo on this screen. So you can go to this screen, you can see what cars you own, what cars you don't own, also what cars you captured and what cars you haven't captured, and you can filter the screen with those as well. So it's a really cool place to see all the cars that you haven't yet got in your promo collection and all the ones that you don't own in one nice little package.
So here we're looking at the cars you own, but you haven't photographed. So these are all cars that you could just go and get out of the garage, take a quick photo, and give yourself a little bit of progress into Horizon promo.
Yes. I think we're going to look at the Horizon Live thread. Yes, so Horizon promo has got its own Horizon Live thread. And as we said, there's lots and lots of rewards in there, mainly the Portofino and the Porsche Gunther Works. So you're going to unlock the Ferrari Portofino when you capture 100 cars, and then the Porsche Gunther Works 400R when you capture 200 cars. And I think we're going to be looking at those in more detail later in the stream. But yes, with quick chat lines, wheel spins, credits, there's lots of stuff here. So it's a really cool feature.
So we went through a little bit quick there. I wasn't able to see what the new quick chat lines were. Can you remember what they are, Dave?
So we have a few. We've let me take a selfie is one of them. The others I can't remember off the top of my head. But
sorry that I threw you under.
I know my favorite one is Promo Arigato. And yeah, it's going to be good.
Amazing. Let's see if Tom's going to take another photo for us. He's not, because he's already taken a photo of all these cars, hasn't he?
But what's good to know is that because obviously Horizon Life is connected and it's online, you'll be taking photos of real players as well, and that's something that's I think is a really cool social element to this feature as well. So Yeah, it's great, and I
absolutely.
can't wait for you guys to get involved and see how far you get through it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really heavily requested feature. It's one of those things where each new game, we have to take stock of what we had from the previous game, what we're going to bring forward. It isn't always as simple as you might think to just bring everything across from the old game, and sometimes things have got to end up on the cutting room floor. So it's been really great to be able to get that back into the game. I know a lot of people have been wanting it, and bring it in with such great rewards as well is just extra cool.
And you got to take pictures of 700 cars in order to get them all. So sounds like a pretty good feat.
So people shouldn't read too much into that number. That is what it's set to at the moment, but that doesn't mean that is the total number of cars that we will ever have in the game. That is a number that is flexible, and we can change with a future update if we need to.
Watch this space, everyone. And anyway, talking about new cars, should we have a chat about the new Series 21 cars? We've mentioned a couple of them in the previous look at the Horizon promo, and that is, of course, the Ferrari Portofino and the Gunther works. But there are some other new ones as well, aren't there?
Yes, there are. Shall we take a look? I think if we want to roll the clip. So first up, yes, it is that 2018 Ferrari Portofino. This one is kind of that entry-level Ferrari, if there were such a thing. It replaces the outgoing Ferrari California and California T models. As I say, this is an entry-level car, so you can get one of these for around $215,000 to $250,000, depending on options. So just an everyman's Ferrari. But despite that kind of entry-level tag, it's still an incredibly powerful car. So it's got a 3.9-litre twin-turbo V8, which gets up to 590 horsepower, which is an increase of 40 horsepower over the aforementioned California T. It can top out at 199 miles per hour and does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And frankly, it just looks amazing. It's such a great looking car, such a great improvement, I think, over the California, which itself was a nice looking car. I think the reason this kind of sits as an entry level model is probably because of the other lines that Ferrari has out at the moment. So you have the 488 and the 488 and the 812, which are those real like kind of raw supercars. Whereas this one straddles that nice line between being a really, really high-end sports car and just tipping into that modern supercar feel. It's an absolutely stunning car. And one of the cool features of it, one of the features that I find quite interesting is that they didn't want to ruin the lines of the car when you had the roof down like this. So whereas a lot of convertibles will have those kind of metal end-shaped bits of iron that will go behind the seat in order to protect the driver in a crash, this car actually has a feature which isn't simulated in game, but is part of the real car, which is once it detects it might be losing control, it's about to roll. It has a deployable roll cage that shoots up out of the back of the car to cover the drivers and any passengers and protect them from any incoming damage. I just think it's a really cool solve to a problem that might affect the visual of the car, but they don't want to obviously sacrifice any safety. So next up, Tom is jumping into the 92 Toyota Supra. So this is the Mark III Supra. There were two Supras before this, but they were before the kind of name change. So there was it used to be called the Celica Supra, and they were part of the Celica line. It was like the GT model of Celica had that kind of Supra moniker. This was the first car which carried the Supra name on its own, separate from the Celica as its own car line. So it's got a 2-litre inline 6 twin turbo, tops out about 207 horsepower. It's kind of at that era where you may suffer a little bit of turbo lag, so it's not as fast as the car that followed it, the Mark IV, which regular viewers of this show might remember as revealing outside the front of the office by ripping off a sheet. So this is the car that predated that by a few years. So it's front-engined, rear-wheel drive, which means it's really well balanced for drift. So if you take it into the garage and throw a few upgrades in there, then it can be a really, really sweet drift car. And of course, it's just another Toyota back in the game. So it's really great for us to be able to bring these cars back. And because of where we are and the time of day in the world at the moment, we won't be able to actually see this feature, but it also features pop-up headlights, which adds charm to any car. So, another interesting fact about this particular model as well is it was never released outside of Japan. So it was never available in the US or Europe, at least not without import. And the great thing about that is it means that the steering wheel is on the correct side, because Japan, obviously, like the UK, it drives on the left side of the road, which is to say the correct side of the road.
Correct side of the road. I'll support that one.
Yeah, so you can see, Tom, he's probably not going to have enough of a straight for us to really kind of see that turbo lag when it kicks in, because it does have at stock, it has a bit of a tricky power curve to get the most out of. You really do have to get a nice straight so that you can really gun it for a little while, get that turbo spooled up, and then it can really kick into gear.
It sounds nice. I know that's like the opinion no one ever asked for, but it sounds very nice too.
That is a thing that our audience care about a great deal, Charlie. I don't think it is in any way controversial to point out that it sounds nice. Yeah, the 2 litre, like I say, 2 litre inline twin turbo, and you can. If Tom had taken it on the motorway in this clip, you'd have probably heard it, but you do really hear that turbo spooling up as well as it starts to kick in. Yeah, it's a really, really cool car, and I think it's cool, perhaps just for its heritage of where it sits, because it really marks the sort of start of that iconic Supra line separated out from the Celica.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I always wanted a Celica growing up, you know. There was someone who lived in our street who had a Celica, and I always looked at it and I was like, I'm going to have that one day. I don't,
yeah, they're a really great looking car, the Celica. I think there's, they're not that expensive if you have to get an old Celica now. There's, whereas getting a Mark IV Supra will set you back at least 50k. You can get an old Celica for probably $2,000. Anyway, this is the Porsche Gunther Works 400R. This is a really interesting car, which I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people watching hadn't heard of, just because it's a bit of a curio. But it is built by a company that was called Forza, that's now calling themselves Gunther Works, who previously used to make aftermarket wheels and body kits and things for cars. They have a good pedigree in making luxury car parts. But this was their first attempt at making their own car. I say making their own car, it's quite clearly based on somebody else's car. And if you wanted to get your hands on one of these cars, you would need to contact them. You're probably a bit late now because they only made 25 of them, and they're not making any more. But you need to contact them, and you'd have to pay in the region of $525 to sort of $670,000 US, and you would need to donate a Porsche 993 Carrera 2 as the donor car, because they would build this on top of that car that you've donated. The really cool thing about this car is the 993 gen of the Porsche 911 never had a GT3 RS line. That didn't start until the gen after this one, the 996. So what Gunther Works wanted to do was think about, well, what would the GT3 RS of the 993 look like? And this is it. So it's effectively a track spec version of the 993 generation 911. And it's just super cool. So all the body is made out of carbon fiber. It's been really, really stripped down. So it's super, super lightweight. It's got a brand new engine built by Roth Sport Racing. And it's a 4-litre boxer engine, flat six, naturally aspirated. So it's just this really, really great, really guttural, powerful engine. And what I really like about this is how it's just all about performance, all about track performance. There's a few houses and manufacturers who will take your classic Porsche and they'll make it super luxurious. A few months ago, we looked at the Emery Special, which we had in a previous update. I forget exactly which one it was, but that's where somebody took an old Porsche and Emery Special. They make it super luxurious. They rebuild it out of really fine luxury parts. So you have a wooden steering wheel and a really beautiful finish and walnut dash. And every single one of them was supposed to be unique and really personal to the owner. But that was all about luxury. This is all about performance, about being able to take this down to the track and get an incredible speed out of it. So it's super lightweight, about 1,200 kilos. It's 431 horsepower, and it's absolute joy to drive. I think it's really, really great to get into the game. And I think it's really great to get just Gunther Works in front of more people, because it is a curious car brand and a curious car to exist at all.
I mean, they sound really fascinating. I hadn't heard, and this may happen to many other car manufacturers, but the idea of sort of taking a car in plus a big fat sum of money and then them turning it into something completely unique, and then from there only being 25 in the world as well. That's fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. They really know how to build in that that scarcity, that demand through scarcity, by just having really huge barriers to entry and then saying, I'm only going to do this 25 times.
Yeah.
So despite the very German-sounding name, they're actually based in California as well. So they are a US-based company. Yeah, there's a really great YouTube series where they take you through the kind of building of one of these, where they show them stripping down the original car and rebuilding all the new parts out of carbon fiber. Definitely worth a look. And yeah, it's just a really, really cool car.
I'm going to put that in my watch later queue immediately after this stream. That sounds great.
Yeah, so that one, just in case anyone forgets, was for taking photographs of 200 cars in Horizon promo. Yeah, so next up we have the 2018 Mercedes AMG C63s. This one we called out earlier, you can unlock for getting 50% festival players completion in winter. This car is an absolute beast. Depending on what options you pick, you can end up paying around $120,000 for one of these. This particular model is the Model S, so it has an extra 30 horsepower, taking it up to 603 horsepower. I imagine that 3 being kind of important because the equivalent spec, the BMW M5, just has 600 horsepower. So I wouldn't want to say there's any like aggressive competition between Mercedes and BMW, but like there obviously is. Yes, this one can reach 155 miles per hour. It's got 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. And all of that in what looks like, you know, an executive family car that you might just drive down to the golf course or go and take the kids to football practice in. It's named the E63, and that's because it's the successor to the previous line, which was called the E63, which was named that because it had a 6.3-litre engine. This one actually doesn't have a 6.3-litre engine. It has a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, so it's a slightly smaller engine, but making up for that power deficit with the twin-turbo there. Also kind of interesting about this particular line is that previously AMG cars were always rear-wheel drive. They were always manual gears. They were all about like being real drivers performance cars. Whereas this one is actually all as standard is all-wheel drive and it's automatic. And although there are options that allow you to tweak that preference, that is the standard how they come with, which just kind of opens up that performance to a lot more people. AMG cars had a bit of a reputation for being, like I say, drivers' cars, but also quite challenging to drive for a regular person. A regular person who might, you know, drive an executive saloon car like this around. So this one has been made so that like a normal person is still able to really get the joy out of just all that power and speed because it's got that all-wheel drive, automatic gearbox. So I don't want to say anyone can drive it because that's probably underselling the skill required in it. But certainly a much more manageable drive than previous cars in this line.
I mean, if it has an automatic gearbox on it, it means I can drive it. So anyone realistically could with that logic.
Yeah, automatic gearboxes had a bit of a bad rep, which I think is probably ill-founded. I think a lot of the modern automatic gearboxes are genuinely brilliant and just work to get you through the gears so fast. It used to be the case that an auto gearbox would slow you down effectively. Like you wouldn't be as fast as what you'd be if you were just changing it, clicking through at a manual. That's not really the case anymore. Modern auto boxes are pretty impressive and really allow you to just put your foot down and let the car do all the hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be able to see it here because I don't think Tom is going to look at it for us now, but it also has really cool wheels where it has like a detachable Mercedes badge, which just covers up all of the the lug nuts. So when you're looking at the wheels, you can't see how it's connected to the car at all. There's no visible nuts or bolts or anything. Okay, now moving on. This is now Tom, who recorded this footage for us earlier, showing off his drift skills in the Formula Drift 599. So this car is an absolute beast, and it's a ridiculous drift monster. So Tom has helpfully taken it over to Fortune Island to take it down the needle climb for us, where all the best drifters in the world go to show what they've got. So yeah, this is based on a 599. It's got a twin centrifugal supercharged 6-litre V12, and it sounds absolutely incredible. It is an absolutely ridiculous engine. It can reach over 900 horsepower. So originally, this particular car was built over in Japan by Daigo Saito, who was the first driver to ever win both Formula Drift and the D1 GP. He's then since handed it, probably sold it, over to Federico Scarifo, who then reworked it back in Italy into the car that we have today, and he has affectionately nicknamed it the Fiorella. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, so sorry, Italy. So the thing about this car, which you can't really see here, where it's effectively the only car on screen, is that it's actually massive. The 599 as a base is a wide car. It's kind of like the width of a small pickup truck. But this version
really?
adds on those wide arch kits, so you can get that extra steering angle, and it just dwarfs those other cars that you'll see in Formula Drift. So when you're thinking all of the Silvia cars, which are quite compact, even a Mustang is significantly smaller than this. And it would have initially come with a flappy paddle gearbox because it's a modern supercar, but this one's been modified. So instead of the flappy gearbox, it uses a 6-speed sequential gearbox instead. Oh, and that's convenient, isn't it? Because that is another one of our Formula Drift cars. So I don't quite know how Tom's engineered this, but he is not the only one drifting down the needle descent. Let him take his picture. That's right. It is the Formula Drift Chevy Corvette, which is one of the other cars in this update, which we'll be taking a look at shortly.
It's not a bad shot either. I think that's the one thing I've noticed is how easy it is in photo mode to just go, that picture will do, and it's absolutely stunning.
It helps that it's a great looking game and it features great looking cars. I think it's I wouldn't want to cheapen the skill of the photographers too much, but I do think that it's just does a good job of chucking really beautiful things into really beautiful environments, and therefore allows you to create those really interesting and compelling photos.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to help with the Horizon promo, especially when you're putting cars like that into the mix. Am I right?
Damn straight.
Right, well, those are your Series 21 cars. There's a really gorgeous bunch absolutely coming your way, and I think you used the word guttural to just describe one of them, so absolutely loving where we're going with this update. But now we're going over to my favorite part of the stream, and I'm happy to report I'm not playing this week. It is, of course, the Eliminator, where Dave is going to be taking on the challenge, obviously and hopefully is going to be winning, but it's only one way to find out. We're going to have to hand it over and see how the guys do.
Yep, so let's team up. Dave, you are famously brilliant at Eliminator, a legend around the office for his incredible skills, and I know everyone's going to be really excited to see what you can do. So how many wins is it so far, Dave?
So again, Mike, so how many wins?
How many wins? Yeah, how many wins?
0. I haven't won the Eliminator yet, but
today, but like overall, Dave, how many wins?
Live on stream, so I'm hoping.
So you're hoping to make this the first ever win for Dave Orton on Eliminator.
Yes, live on stream,
right.
For all you guys to see. It's going to be great.
So usually I would use this point to ask some questions around what strategies people employ, or try and get that kind of really inside baseball depth into the experts who created the game and get those really interesting strategies out of them. I don't know if that's going to be so useful when you've never won anyway. So I guess you have to turn this on your head. So when I'm asking Dave these questions, just perhaps do the opposite of what he says. So once it loads up in a sec, Dave, what's your start location? Where do you always drop at the start of a game?
I always drop at the quarry. I've already been told that's a really bad place to drop, but that is my go-to. Go to the quarry, get the loot, and then hang back, and hopefully this time it will work. But obviously, everybody do the opposite, because that is not how you win this game. The quarry is not the best place to go to.
Yeah, I did, when you said that to me earlier, I did take a sharp intake of breath at the thought that, the quarry every time. That is an interesting choice. So why do you go for that one, Dave? Why don't you tell us, and then we can infer from that why it's a bad idea. Every time I've gone there,
I've always found there to be loot. So that was just my go-to, but I'm going to try somewhere else this time. I'm basically going to do the opposite of what I normally do for this stream, and then we'll see how we get on.
So in case anybody was wondering, the reason that the quarry is a difficult location to start from is because it blocks your lines out of there. So yes, you might be able to grab a car early on, but the lines that you can take from there are are obscured by the fact that there is a quarry, and about half of it is like a massive steep vertical wall that you can't just drive straight up. So there you go, Dave. There was some insight for you.
Yeah, and if you
anyway,
get caught in the water at the bottom as well, it's horrendous.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, and the water as well. So in a Mini, which has a low ride height, can really struggle in that water. So, and what do you do then, Dave? Once you've chosen your dreadful start location, you've crossed your fingers and hoped you grab a car drop early on. What's next steps?
It's get the loot and then just avoid everyone. I play the long, boring, slow game where I try and get all the good loot and then hang back until the end. But I think I'm going to try a different technique this time. I'm going to just get the loot and go basically seek people out and see what happens.
All right, so you started out in Broadway. Right, anyway, let's onto the Q&A part of Elim Q&A. Right, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Dave. I'm 27 and I work as a game designer here at Playground Games. Been here for 3 years and I absolutely love it.
So what exactly, for the people at home, what exactly does a game designer do?
So the game design team, we're sort of responsible for the sort of overall creative direction of the game, and a lot of my day-to-day looks, answering questions and driving at the same time. Okay. So this is incredibly hard. Wow. So
that is the central theme of this segment, actually, Dave. You've successfully identified that. So
yeah.
now you've got over that hurdle. On to describing your job, please.
Yes. So we are responsible for the creative direction of the game. At the beginning of a project, we're sort of looking at the high level, big broad strokes of what the game is, and then we sort of delve into the smaller features and effectively design these features, write documentation, work with the team. But I think our main role is to make the game as fun as it can be. So we kind of apply that lens through every single feature in the game. This guy's going to go, so we try and make the game as fun as possible.
And great. So you said you've been with Playground for 3.5 years. So where did we find you?
So I started in the industry at Freestyle, who is across the road, Freestyle Games. I worked on. I'm about to lose weather. This is not good. I started on Guitar Hero Live, which was my first job. I worked as the sort of gameplay designer, and I charted all the songs. So all the notes that came down the highway in Guitar Hero Live was put in by me, which means I've listened to One Direction and Ed Sheeran way more than I'd like to, probably about 500 times. So yeah, that was fun. And then I worked as freelance for a bit. I worked on a game called Turing Test, and now I'm here.
Great. So it sounds like the notes that come down the thing in Guitar Hero, that to me sounds like basically the entire game. So I think you could lay claim to having done all of it, really, Dave.
I would take that. I was part of a team, but I'll take credit for that. I did. I think my favourite song that I charted was Megadeth Hangar 18, because that was just like a game, a song full of brutally hard solos. That was great fun.
Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about you. So what was the very first game you ever played?
Very first game I played was Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I couldn't complete the first level, Green Hill Zone, because there's a part where you got to cross a spiky log bridge, and I was too young to kind of work out how to do that, so I could never get past level 1. Eventually, like as of last year, I can now complete Sonic, but originally I was just stuck on Green Hill Zone.
Have you? Was that on your own Mega Drive? Did you own that, or Genesis?
My friends had one, so I used to go around the house. I used to play Mega Drive around that. I actually had a PlayStation. That was my first console.
Okay, so you jumped in at PlayStation. You're letting people know how young you are there, Dave.
Yes.
So you say you went back and finished Sonic last year. Was that on the that mini Mega Drive they did?
Sorry, this is not going well.
It's okay. You've not been challenged. Yeah. When did you actually go back and complete Sonic last year?
So I got it on my phone. I used to do it as I commuted in. I played it on my phone on touchscreen control. I don't know why, but you can do it. You can complete Sonic on touchscreen.
Do him, Dave. Do him, Dave.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that was the first game you ever played. What was the first game you ever bought with your own money?
The first game I ever bought with my own money was the movie tie-in Space Jam, the PlayStation, and I do remember having the choice of. Do you remember Tombi, the PlayStation game? The guy with the pink hair?
Yes, a collector's item now, actually. Tombi, yeah, very hard to get.
And I picked Space Jam. I don't know why, because Tombi's really rare now, so I wish I'd done that.
Yeah. Tombi, I think, is like about 150 to 200 pounds now. I wonder what Space Jam is these
I
days.
said no to that for a movie tie-in game with Bugs Bunny. That is what drove me to buy that game as a kid.
And how much did you pay for that out of your own money, Dave?
£20 from my birthday money, so that's probably
20 Great British pounds. 1990s Great British pounds, so about £4,000 in today's money.
Yes,
yeah.
If anyone has a copy of that, let me know, because I want to know who else played that game, because I haven't met anyone else who's played that game before. So Space Jam, PlayStation 1.
Did it have Michael Jordan in it?
It did have Michael Jordan in it. Yeah, he was the best player. So obviously he picked him first, and then I can't really remember what else I had in the game. I think I had some mini games, and yeah, it was a bit bizarre, but it was cool.
Great. Okay, so moving on, let's learn more about Dave's games. What is your favourite game of all time, Dave?
Spyro the Dragon. Easiest question you've just given me. Spyro the Dragon was the first game I properly played. I'm about to lose.
Oh, you mean Skylanders Spyro's Adventure?
No, Mike. That is not the one. It is.
That is canon, though, Dave. That Skylanders is Spyro canon. You can't tell me it's not.
Canon, but,
he does try and tell me it's not all the time.
Spyro the Dragon 1 on PlayStation. That was the first game I properly got into. I absolutely love it, and the music is incredible as well. And then great is they released the remasters last year, or the year before. I can't remember.
All right, that's enough. Stop plugging other people's games. All right, and let's jump on from there, Dave, and we will find out what was your first car.
My first car is still the same car I have. It is a Citroen C1. Yeah, I know. It's
how is
it's
it, Dave?
Beast.
Give us the review. Imagine you're on Top Gear.
The review. It's got an aux cable, so I can plug in. Well, I can't even plug in my phone now because it's Bluetooth. But I used to be able to plug in my phone. Yeah. It's got a pretty nifty boot. And
is it one where it's like flap
really
of glass that opens up?
So that's probably a good thing.
Rather than actually being a complete door.
Say that again.
Is the C1 boot the one where the glass is like a flap that lifts up rather than it being an actual door? It's pretty bad. I actually went to go pick up some equipment from the office the other day, and I couldn't actually fit it in the car. So it's not the biggest car. But it does the job. It gets me from A to B, and I'd love to get an upgrade at some point. But what's that? Well, if any of the car manufacturers happen to be watching this stream, then Playground Games game designer Dave Orton is looking for a new set of wheels. So reach out to him.
Gunther works.
Yeah, the C1. I mean, it's a car that I could make fun of you for, but I used to drive a Toyota Aygo, which is a sister car of it.
Yes,
and
pretty much the same car.
Because the entire thing's made out of plastic, it is actually faster than you'd think, isn't it? It's like it's 0 to 60 is probably about 25 seconds, but the 0 to 30 is pretty quick just by virtue of the fact that it's made of plastic.
Yes, I found that it's getting to 30 is great, and then as soon as you want to overtake someone on the motorway, you got to plan like 5 minutes ahead. It takes so long. But they're pretty nifty for city driving.
So Dave, just to break from the Q&A slightly here, you need to get into a better car than this, mate. There's not many people left, and you need to make a play if you're going to win this.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, so Dave, we've heard about your cars, we've heard about your games. I think the people might like to hear a little bit more about Dave. So
what's coming? Okay.
Let's talk about your music, Dave.
Yes.
What musical instruments can you play, Dave?
My first instrument is the drums, and then I play guitar and keyboard, and I do a lot of music production now. So I work just as a hobby. I kind of write my own music now, and that's all done through your DJ software and your dubsteps and all that. It's good fun.
Your dubsteps and your DJs
your dubsteps and your DJs and your buttons.
Can you a cappella one of your songs for us?
Thankfully no, because they're all instrumentals. Because as a music producer, I don't need a singer. I let the music speak for itself.
You're ruining the segment, Dave. Sing for us, sing.
I am not going to sing. I did not sign up for that. It's you should check it out though. I'm just gonna plug my music. Nectar.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to say. Yeah, by all means, Dave. You are as much as I'm poking fun at you. You are a very, very talented musician. So you should by all means plug your stuff and let people go and find it.
Yes. So Nectar NECTA. Check it out on all the social medias. That's as much as I'm going to say because I'm surrounded by people, and I think they've got to be in better cars than me. Yeah, this guy's eyeing me up.
I think you've got. I think you're going to have to make a point here, Dave.
Okay, right.
You've got to go on. This is it, Dave. I'll pause the questions for a little bit so you can go and steal this guy's level 9 car.
So notice how Jamin actually even told me that they're in a much faster car than me as well. Like we actually hooked that VO up specifically for people like me, and now it's happening. Right, let's go.
This is it, Dave.
I think I've done all right. There's only 11 drivers left. We're doing all right.
You've done very well considering you're in a pretty slow car. All things considered.
Avoid people.
You really need him to make a huge mistake now, though. Like, he's going to have to miss the end point and then fly through that wall if you're going to get there.
It's not happening, is it? It's game over.
Recalculating route.
Ooh.
He looks like he's hit a tree.
Turn around.
Oh wait.
It is safe to do so.
Oh no, totally game over.
Yeah, that's why he looked like he'd slow down. I think he did just what you've done, but
11th.
I'll
take that.
11th place, Dave. That is a respectable finish. One of the.
I will take that.
Yeah. I think that's. I don't think it's the best. I think Charlie did get better than that last time, but no, that's giving it a first attempt. That was pretty good, Dave. You should be proud of that. But as
that win.
As is tradition with Eliminator, you are now banished from the show and you can never appear on it again because you didn't win. And until such point that we run out of people because no one's won yet, and we can't keep banishing everyone. We'll have no one left.
The banishment, they let me come back, so don't take those words too harsh.
Yeah.
He's got no power here.
We'll see how we get on.
Right, well, we are almost at the end of the show, so if you guys want to rattle us through maybe a couple updates and fixes that you're happy to announce to everybody, and it's on a positive note, shall we?
Yeah, so we just got a few updates. First of all is that we've extended the time of the Eliminator feed, so you're going to have more time to digest all the info of the game that you're in. So, you just be able to see everything that's going on for a little bit longer. We've also fixed an issue for VIP players. So people, including myself, would have a pop-up that would always show up when you booted the game that told you that you've been given some VIP rewards, and it would always show. And we've got rid of that now. So sorry to all the people that are annoyed and frustrated. And we've also fixed
hopefully
an
they felt very rewarded though by being reminded of what their rewards were every single time they booted the game for knocking on for a year and a half now.
Yeah. You just told you got those.
Hopefully that was sufficient. They feel rewarded. They can move on from that.
Yeah. Oh, this Eliminator guy's going off on one. And then we fixed an audio issue with the Napier router. So people were finding that fourth gear was a lot louder. So we've just normalized that across all the gears. So it's a lot quieter. On top of that, we've got the results in for the Eliminator elimination. All the cars that have been removed thanks to you guys on social media. And I have the results here. So the cars that are being removed from the Eliminator pool at level 2, receiving 4,129 votes was the Hillman Imp. And then at level 3, the Unimog, that's gone. Level 4, we've got the Mercedes G63. That's the six-wheeler. That's totally gone. We've got the Hummer H1 Alpha open top at level 5. And then we've got 2 Bentleys that have been removed as well. So level 6, the Bentley Bentayga, that got removed. And then the Bentley Continental got removed at level 7. Level 8 car is the Ford M Sport Fiesta RS.
Right, and there you have it. That is democracy in action. There was a yes. vote. You said get rid of these cars. Some of them we thought were actually pretty good, and
it sounded.
There we go in the scrap heap. I've also been asked to provide some clarity for those people that were trying to work out our clues from Torben Tuesday this week, which was a bit different to usual on the grounds that we normally take a picture of Torben up to something in the office. He wasn't in the office, and therefore we couldn't do that. So anyway. the tweets were, the clues were 1,000 words doesn't begin to cover this. You've probably worked that out now. 1,000 words, picture paints 1,000 words, Horizon promo. The next one was a UTM code, which is the coordinates for a place in Italy called Portofino, which is actually the namesake of the Ferrari Portofino. This one was like pretty super obvious. I think this one took about 30 seconds for somebody to get, which was Mark III, our words, G, a 7-0, which is a hint to the Mark III Supra, which also known as the A70. And finally, there was we're still friends, I'll be your barista. A tortured clue for the popular TV show Friends, in which a person called Gunther works in the coffee shop. So the Porsche Gunther works.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Well done to people who worked those out.
You got them,
it's
didn't you?
We usually don't have to explain them like this, which makes them feel a little bit more tortured.
You did a fantastic job. In fact, both you, Mike, and Dave have been absolutely wonderful to spend the last hour with. I hope you've had a wonderful month. I hope the next month ahead is fantastic for you too. But that is the end of the Horizon Monthly show. Please stay tuned for Forza Monthly, which starts at 7 p.m. BST, 11 a.m. PT, or most lovingly referred to as 5 minutes time. So stick around. We'll be back with some more news. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.